Commerce University, Jaipur. Today I am going to take the lecture on the subject named System Analysis and Design. The topic of today's session is Software Design Part 2. These are the topics which I have covered in this session. First is software design definition, data flow diagram, structure chart, HEPO diagram, structured English, decision table, entity relationship model, and the last is data dictionary. Software design definition. It is a process to transform user requirements into some suitable form, which helps the programmer in software coding and implementation. So the software design, you can say, is the basic step in SDLC which moves the concentration from problem domain to solution domain, and it tries to specify how to fulfill the requirements which is mentioned in software requirement specification. Now come to the DFD, that is data flow diagram. Data flow diagram is graphical representation of flow of data in an information system. It is capable of depicting incoming data flow, outgoing data flow, and stored data. The DFD does not mention anything about how data flows through the system. Types of DFD. The DFD are either logical or physical. Logical means this type of DFD concentrates on the system process and flow of data in the system. For example, in a banking software system, how data is moved between different entities. So this is logical, okay. And the physical means this type of DFD shows how the data flow is actually implemented in the system. It is more specific and close to the implementation. Now the components of DFD. DFD can represent source, destination, storage, and flows of data using the following set of components. You can see here entity you can store in this rectangular box, and the process is in the circle, or you can say oval, and this is the data store where you can store your database, and these are the data flows. With the help of arrow you can show the flow of data. This DFD I have also explained in my previous videos how these items can be stored in which type of components, right? The levels of DFD. There are many levels of DFD as per the requirement. First is level 0, means this is the highest abstraction level DFD, which is known as level 0 DFD, and which depicts the entire information system as one diagram concealing all the underlying details. So this level 0 DFD, also known as context level DFD. You can ask this question in your exams, like that short note on context level DFD. So don't be confused about context, because this is the basically you can say initial, or you can say the abstract highest abstraction level DFD, okay. So you see in this figure like online shopping system, and this is the customers, okay. So customers are ordered to the online shopping system, and this online shopping system deliver the items to the customers. So this is the basic diagram of the abstraction of online shopping and customer, means like selling the product or buying the product, right? Now the level first is the level 0 DFD, further broken down into more specific, like if you want to describe that level, so we have to move on to the next level, like level first, okay. So this level first DFD depicts basic modules in the system and flow of data among various modules. Like level 1 DFD also mentions basic processes and sources of information. Now see here, uh, accounts. Okay, so in accounts, order processing, finance verification. uh, you see here, this customer orders to the sales department. Okay, now sales department, what the work of sales department, it will deliver that sales to the customers, and this sales department process the ordering and his order. Okay, this order further goes to the account section. In their finance verification should be there. Okay, so this order processing, after verify to the customer data whether it is okay or not, then written back to the order processing. And here this order processing of course stores in this area what is the item you have to order. Like in Amazon, Flipkart, and on the online shopping, what you have done, if you place an order, then that order is placed, means if you want to track that item ki where what is the status of your product, that what does it mean. Like if you are ordered today, okay, so sometimes if you are ordered in the morning or noon, so it might be a chance that the same day that order will be placed. So if you want to track that order, then you will show that on your screen that your order is placed, or you can say your order is shipped. Okay, so when your order is shipped, okay, then it will be in the position of the next step, that is delivery. Okay, so then he will give you and the message that your package is delivered and the agent name is this agent will be delivered to that item. So you there's also a chance to set the schedule of your timings as per your convenience. Like if you, in the office hours, if you are not at home, so you have to mention your timings, and you have to mention your address as well. And so this all comes in the processing state, and unless we are not finishing that state, so you have to store, you have to maintain all the data. So these all data stores in the file, of course. Okay, so this is the area where you can store all these things. Now the next is level 2. At this level, DFD shows how data flows inside the module mentioned in level 1. So higher level DFDs can be transformed into more specific lower level DFD with deeper level of understanding, unless the desired level of specification is achieved. Now come to the structure charts. Structure chart is what? Uh, a structure chart is a chart derived from data flow diagram. It represents the system in more detail than DFD. It breaks down the entire system into lowest functional modules, describes functions and subfunctions in each module of the system to a greater detail than DFD. So the structure chart represents hierarchical structure of modules. At each layer, a specific task is performed. Symbols of structure charts. Here are symbols used in construction of structure charts. Like module, it represents process or subroutine or task. A control module branches to more than one submodule. Library modules and reusable and invocable from any module. You can see in this diagram there are modules, and this module is further divided into a number of modules. So you can see this is a control module. This module is control the sub module, like these are the modules which you can see the sub module, and this is the library module. These three modules are controlled by this module. Okay. Now condition. It is represented by a small diamond at the base of module. It depicts that control module can select any of subroutine based on some conditions. Okay, you see here this is a diamond. I am talking about this diamond. Okay, this means a condition. Okay, just like in flowchart. Now jump means an arrow is showing pointing inside the module to depict that the control will jump. You can see here in this module, this is inside. I am talking about inside the module, not here. It is goes in this module. The loop. A curved arrow represents loop in the module. All submodules covered by loop repeat execution of module. Now come to the data flow. Data flow, a direction arrow with empty circles at the end represents data flow. You can see here, this is a module, this is a module. This labels show in this direction. Data flow means the data is flowing in this direction. This labels means data is flow in downwards direction. This is upward direction. Okay. So this the arrow with empty circle. You can see here this empty circle at the end represents data, means the data is flowing this word. Okay. Now HIPPO. HIPPO means hierarchical input process output. HIPPO diagram is a combination of two organized methods to analyze the system and provide the means of documentation. HIPPO model was developed by IBM in year 1970. This diagram represents the hierarchy of modules in the software system. Analyst uses HIPPO diagram in order to obtain high-level view of system functions. It composes functions into sub-functions in a hierarchical manner. It depicts the functions performed by a system, and the HIPPO diagram are good and for documentation purpose. Their graphical representation makes it easier for designers and managers to get the pictorial idea of the system structure. Now this is the HIPPO diagram. In this you can see the hierarchy, like online sales. In this online sales, this comes in the authentication, inventory check, payment process, dispatch item. Means these are the process which are going on during the online process, right? So this dispatch item generate invoice. Okay, this inventory check, in which you can see issue item and item missing. Now if the issue item is deduct inventory. Okay, so this is the, you can say, the hierarchy diagram of online sales. Now structured English. Most programmers are unaware of the large picture of software, so they only rely on what their managers tell them to do. It is the responsibility of higher software management to provide accurate information to the programmers to develop accurate yet fast code. Now, structured English is the IT uses plain English words in structured programming paradigm. It is not ultimate code, but a kind of description what is required to code and how to code it. The following are some tokens of structured programming, like if, then, else, and the do, while, until. Now come to the decision tables. A decision table represents conditions and the respective actions to be taken to address them in a structured tabular format. It is a powerful tool to debug and prevent errors. It helps group similar information into a single table, and then by coming tables it delivers easy and convenient decision making. Now, creating decision tables. To create the decision table, the developer must follow basic 4 steps. Identify all possible conditions to be addressed. Determine actions for all identified conditions. Create maximum possible rules. Define actions for each rule. Decision tables should be verified by end users and can lately be simplified by eliminating duplicate rules and actions. Now come to the entity relationship models. Entity relationship model is a type of database model based on the notation of real world entities and relationship among them. So we can map real world scenario onto ER database model, and this ER model creates a set of entities with their attributes, a set of constraints and relation among them. ER model is best used for the conceptual design of database. ER model can be represented as follows. Like you can see here, this is the entity. Entity is what? An entity in ER model is a real world being which has some properties called attributes. Every attribute is defined its corresponding set of values called domain. Okay, so next comes the relationship. The logical association among entities is called relationship. So the relationship are mapped with entities in various ways. Like mapping cardinalities defines a number of associations between two entities. Mapping cardinalities one to one, one to many, many to one, and many to many. Now, data dictionary. Data dictionary is a centralized collection of information about data. It stores meaning and origin of data, its relationships with other data, data format for usage, etc. Data dictionary with rigorous definitions of all names in order to facilitate user and software designers. Data dictionary is often referenced as metadata, that is data about data repository. It is created among with DFT model of software program and is expected to be updated whenever DFT is changed or updated. So this is all about today's session, and this is a question for practice. Explain entity relationship model with example. Thank you. This session powered by digital version 2.0 Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University. Hope you are satisfied with my digital session. If you have any query, please mention in comment box. I will resolve it. Thank you.